grace practice. That's a chance for us to remind ourselves of all the things that we have been doing last week, last term, and so on, so that we revise and just go through them and bring them to the front of our minds again. Now, last term we looked at fractions, and the questions asked you for equivalent fractions for 1/3, 2/4, and 4/10. So, what can you tell me about finding an equivalent fraction? What's the golden rule? What do I need to remember to find an equivalent fraction?
What you do to the top, you do to the bottom.
Good. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So, if I double that, 2 3s are 6. So what must I do to the 1? Double it. 2. If I say multiply the 3 by 3, 3 3s are... If I've multiplied that by 3, then what must I do to the 1? Times it by 3, which would be 3. Okay, and so on. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Can anybody tell me anything that you have spotted about 2/4? What can you tell me about 2/4, Grace?
It's half.
It's a half. It's equivalent to a half. So we could actually put that in. It is equivalent to a half. And then you could do the same. You could say to yourself, well, I'll double that 4 to make 8. If I've doubled the 4, what must I do to the 2 to the top? Double it, which is 4, and so on. Okay, you can find lots for that. So we did lots of equivalents for a half last term. If you remember, the numerator is always half the denominator. The denominator is always twice the numerator. That's an easy one, doing a half, because it always follows that rule. Okay, 4/10. Can somebody give me an equivalent for 4/10?
Would it be 8/20?
8/20, good. We've doubled the 10 to make 20, we've doubled the 4 to make 8. Good, and you can carry that pattern on. Okay, equivalents down here. This was the second question, the last unit. We've got 10 35ths. What have I done to 35 to make it into 7? Or what have I done to the 7 to make it into 35? It might be easy to think of it that way. What have I done to 7 to make it into 35?
You've divided it by 5.
You've divided the 35 by 5 to make 7. 35 divided by 5 is 7. So if I've divided 35 by 5 to make 7, what must I do to the 10?
Divided by 5.
Which is?
5. No, 2.
2. Good. Well done. Okay. What have I done to 27 to make it into 3? Or, you might find it easier to do it the other way around. What have I done to 3 to make it into 27? How many 3s in 27?
9.
Good girl. Well done. So, 9 3s in 27. I multiplied that 3 by 9 to make it into 27. So what must I do to the 2? If I multiplied that by 9, I need to multiply the 2 by 9, which will give me 18. Good. Okay, 3/5, 9 somethings, 35 something. We've got lots of numbers missing there. What have I done to the 3 to make it into 9?
Times it by 3.
Times it by 3. So what must I do to the 5, everybody?
Times it by 3.
Which will be
15.
Good. What have I done to the 5 to make it into 35? Big clue there.
Times it by 7.
So what must I do to the 3, everybody?
Times it by 7.
Which will be
21.
21. Good. So that's this side of the board done. This question, Max has made a number on a place value grid. How many 1s have we got?
Hold on.
How many 10ths have we got? 3. How many hundredths have we got?
5.
So the number is made is 0.35. Now we did this last week. We were thinking about how to write that as a fraction. We've got 3/10, 5 hundredths, all together that would make 35 hundredths. Do you remember we did that yesterday and last week? Yeah? Okay, good. So, last term, place value, 47,603. You can divide that, partition that into 40,000. What would go there? What's missing? 40,000, 7,603. Good. We've got 50,000 plus 300 plus 70 plus 4. Altogether that would make? Not 5,000, it's 50,000. Good. 50,374. Good. We've got 80,000 plus 7,000 plus something would give us 88,300. Interesting. What would we need to do there?
It would be 4 because you need to add one of them onto the 7 to make it an 8. And then that equals to 400.
You're right that we've only got 7,000 there. We need to make it into 8,000. But what would we need to add to make that 7,000 into 8,000? If we've got 7,000, what would we need to add to it to make it into 8,000?
1,000.
1,000, good. So we've got to add 1,000 there, and then we need to add what? 300. So altogether we need to add 1,300. Yeah? Okay, good. So that's the Year 5 space practice.